Hey guys, Brandon Woolum, CCM Magazine today, hanging out here in Nashville in a room where we usually talk music. Today we're talking movies, though, specifically one movie, The Firing Squad, going to be out August 2nd in theaters everywhere. Got a couple guys who are going to be in that on the screen, Kevin Sorbo, Cuba Gooding Jr. Take us down the synopsis of this film. We'll start there. What's the movie about, this true story?
Well, real quickly, it's not a musical, but he does sing in the movie. so it's a true story set in an Indonesian prison. And it kind of really sort of caters to three gentlemen, and they're us two, and along with James Barrington, and kind of shows our pattern going through this prison. My character actually committed murder there, and in Indonesia, and he got the death sentence. And while he's there, he found God and became a pastor, and he saved a number of other inmates' lives in that church before he was executed in 2015.
That's pretty recent, this story.
It's pretty recent. I mean, like I said, I don't know how long your character was supposed to be. Was he in prison? I think mine was there like 30 years before they finally executed him. Yeah.
Yeah, my character was there for a few years, but I don't think so.
But he was there for a different reason.
Pretty much sums it up there.
There were drugs and stuff.
Well, yeah, but James Barrington's character, and along with another character in the movie, got around with drugs and the thing. They also too got sentenced, the death sentence for that crime. In these some of these countries, they want to set examples for people coming and exchanging drugs in the country. So, and they're guys of very little faith. They're just young and kind of living their life, and this happens to them. And the story ultimately is about how they redeem their hope and aspirations of life in this prison and found their faith in God. And, my character is a character that is already in the prison when they arrive, and he kind of helps them get through the time they're there before their sentencing.
So was this a story that you were familiar with before you saw the script, or was that the first time you'd ever heard this story?
First time. I'd never heard it before. Director Tim Che, they worked together before. I had not. We talked about working together, and finally worked out. He sent me a script, and I love true stories. I think a lot of people like true stories, so I was definitely drawn to it for that reason.
Yeah. So you've been involved in these faith and family-friendly films for many years. Cuba, how did you get crossed over to this side of the world doing these faith-based films?
Tim Shea, who wrote, directed, and produced this movie, right, had produced another movie that I did for him about 12 years ago, 13 years ago, another faith-based tale called Freedom, where we play runaway slaves who find their way into Nova Scotia and then find their faith in God and renew their faith in God. And it was that redemption story. So,
did they come back to America after they found out how cold it was up there?
Yeah, exactly. You know what?
What the heck with this?
Slavery ain't so bad.
God's down there too.
But he had said to be on the set of that film that he had something else in mind, and a little better than a dozen years later, he said,
"Wow,
the script." Yeah, and I
he had that story that long. I didn't know that.
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
So I read it. I mean, maybe he was developing it, or he had heard about what was going on over there, and it was funny enough because I had like Kevin said, me singing in the movie. My father was a singer, lead singer. The main ingredient in the song "Everybody Plays the Fool." And he would always tell me, "You don't sing. I'm the singer. You're the actor." So I never, ever, even Happy Birthday, I wouldn't even attempt it. And then he passed in 2017. And so when Tim said, "Read the script," I read the script and read that third act of the story, and I was weeping because I finally got the connection of why I was, because in 2018, I was on Broadway doing Chicago, the musical, and with a vocal coach for my months. So it was like God's will. This all came together in this way, and so I said, "Yeah, man, I get it." And amazingly enough, I've been doing this singing thing now, so I'm in.
That's awesome.
Your dad's proud.
Yeah. We talk about all these years that you've been involved in this industry and the faith part of the industry. These movies are getting so much better. They're getting bigger screens. We're getting names that we recognize more. What's changed these past 6-7 years in Christian film?
I got this.
Go for it.
Me the money. That's all it is. Money makes Hollywood dictate it. Go ahead.
That's true, though. They're still not really picking up, but I did a movie, The Cold Gods on That was a pretty big hit. At the same time, Paramount came out with Noah, with Russell Crowe. Okay, so it's kind of interesting. I mean, that was a big budget movie, big special effects, everything, and I went to the premiere of it at Paramount. They did a pre-screening, and I got invited to it. And it was packed house there, and I was sitting back about 30 rows back there. And the guy comes out, the producer comes out ahead of time, probably the only Christian on the whole set, and he said, "Now you got to take this movie with a grain of salt." Just before we even watch it, he goes, "I mean, this is an atheist director. Number one, why did Hollywood, a Jewish community, hire an atheist director to direct an Old Testament from the Jewish part of the Bible?" I cannot, honestly, I can't remember. But we're watching that movie, and my wife leans over to me halfway through. She says, "This is not Noah's story. This is Transformers meets Waterworld." Because it was, and that movie, I said, "We're driving home." I said, "You watch what happens, because the Christian crowd will go in droves for this opening weekend." Second weekend, I said, "I bet you dropped 60% for 1 week to do." It dropped 67%. Wow. Because word of mouth was so bad. Yeah. I heard it lost about $190 million. Wow. And somebody during the Q&A afterwards said, "Why isn't Hollywood doing more movies like God's Not Dead?" And the guy said, "Well, we'll leave the independent, smaller budget movies to the independent producers. We're going to keep doing the big budget movies." So it was kind of fun. So this
it was built on doing biblical.
I know, that's where he started. Go to the Ten Commandments, Ben-Hur, the Bible. They put all these movies out there. Right. It's weird to me. I don't know. I think that they have their own agenda right now. They have a message they want to get out. Yeah. Even though Disney lost $1.4 billion this year with their woke crap. Pardon my French, but I'm so sick of that too. And so I'm looking at more and more people doing this now, because it's actually cheaper to do. And when I say cheaper, you don't have to spend a lot of money on cameras, because all cameras are good now. Lighting is good. It's easier to shoot high-value production. Yeah. But there's more and more people writing really good scripts out there right now that deal in this world. Yeah.
The people doing independent film now can do it on their phones.
Yeah.
And look almost as good. You can shoot 8K on phones.
Yeah. It's crazy. But, more and more, they're going to keep coming out. There's a lot more coming out of the pipeline. He's got more coming out. I got more coming out. And, you got the Erwin brothers, the Kendrick brothers. A lot of people doing it right now.
That's right.
Yeah. When we get to see the firing squad here in a couple weeks, what's that scene you're really looking forward to people seeing? We've seen the trailers. Is there some stuff in there that you can't wait for us to actually consume?
I'll tell you, I'm going to give a plug for him walking out. When he is singing, it's a very emotional moment as he's walking to his own death. I mean, it's pretty incredible.
It's cool because we've been screening the movie for a few months now, right? And usually, even going back to Boys in the Hood, and I heard you say it earlier today, we love to sneak into the back of the theater and watch the audience react to a movie. That's like our drug, right? Yeah. So you're sitting back there, and when that finale of the movie happens, that third act happens, you can feel the energy in the theater change. The credits roll, no one moves, the lights come up. And it's just, I don't want to get.
And they're talking about it.
They're talking about it. And then Tim walks up, and people have given their life to Christ after the credits have rolled. It's literally that moment of the movie that I feel the proudest about, because it seems
there's
like
people there, they're crying because it's a very touching.
Yeah, it connects to the audience in that last moment of the movie. So that's.
When I did that, we talked about it earlier, because I did it with God's Not Dead. They would sneak me into some of these theaters near the end, and there's two old women. I was in the very last row. They saved a couple seats in there, and there's two older women in front of me, and one looks up, because my character is this atheist, not a very nice professor in this college, and she goes, "I don't like that guy. He's not a good person." And I said, "Then I did a good job."
That's right. I did my job. Listen, I did my job, Jay. I know what you're talking about.
When you do a movie like this, it's got a storyline that's true and really hits you hard. How does that affect you, like, mentally when you leave the set from a movie like this?
Well, it's to me, it's just like I said earlier, I just like true stories. I mean, I think we've all through movies and television through decades, we've seen everything, from scary movies to true life stories to funny movies, whatever. So then it affected me. It didn't affect me in such a way it made me change my lifestyle or something, but I looked at it as like, this is another great message out there for people who are looking for hope, people are looking for redemption, because we are in this world right now. We have an angry world, as you know. And every day people are going, well, what can I be mad about today? Which is a horrible way to go through life. I'm hoping a movie like this makes people go, you know what? My life ain't that bad. I'm not on death row in a foreign prison.
Yeah. So you've never been one to hold back on what you post on social media and such. When you're out promoting a movie like this, do you have a PR team that's kind of telling you, like, can we tone it down?
I post
Especially
the
in a
truth.
week. Yeah.
I am not angry at my tweets. I post like COVID. I said, you want to get rid of COVID? Tell the Clintons COVID's got something on them. You know, so it's like he'll mysteriously commit suicide. So, but I do not post hate, but I post funny stuff. That is very true. I do.
Are there people that tell you, like, when we're promoting the movie, can you tone it down?
Sometimes.
Especially we're recording this just less than a week after the assassination attempt.
Yeah.
So there's been some extra posts that came from you this week.
Well, you know, but people got to wake up to the reality of what's going on in our world right now. It's crazy what's going on, and it's unfortunate that we have so much anger and hate out there. So I just, I can't help the sarcasm. It's part of being one of four boys.
So Cuba, you've had plenty of ups and downs these past couple of years, but one of the ups is you came out and said that you rededicated your life to Christ. What led you to come back?
You know,
That's the story out
funny
there.
how they say that. I never left Christ. I never left him. And it's something that I talk about in podcasts, some of these podcasts that I've been doing, is that God gave me the gift to bring truth to emotion in the characters that I portray. And I look at a director as the captain of the ship. And it's my job for him to use me to tell the story. Now, I've done dark characters. Like I said, I played O.J. Simpson. I played Nicky Barnes in American Gangster, and I can probably rattle off a couple more. But to answer your question, and to answer a question earlier that you came to Kevin that I'd like to answer as well, is the reason why I am not only drawn to true life stories, I'm drawn to people of history, specifically because of black history. And when I had heard about the Tuskegee Airmen, I was 24 or 5 years old and was angry that I didn't know about the history of these men and women who fought for our country, who were black and flew these expensive airplanes. So I took that as my God statement mission to portray the characters. I did the movies twice. I did Red Tails and then did the Tuskegee Airmen. Then I moved on and did a movie called Men of Honor, where I met Master Chief Carl Bashir, who was on the set every day. I couldn't sit a certain way. If he was here now, it'd be, you have to sit the way that he sat, and you have to act the way that he did it. Carry yourself that way. And that character I'll carry with me till I die, because that informed me of who I am and who I should be as a man. Then I played another guy by the name James Radio Robert Kennedy in a movie called Radio. And he was on the set all the time, but he wasn't really, because of his mental disabilities, he wasn't really there. But I absorbed his reaction with the people around him, even with the crew members, even the quirky stuff that I was eating a hot dog, and he said, that's out that. I go, yeah, you want a hot dog video? And he snatched it and ran off. And it was one of those things that informs my soul about that character that is a part of me now. So when this script came to me and Tim said, here's what I need you to do for this movie, and I wept reading that third act, because I knew that my ability to bring truth to emotion would service the film in a way that would move people. So I look at, and then when I started promoting the movie, everybody's like, oh, you're a born-again Christian. Oh, you're a Christian. Welcome. And I'm like, I've been here. It's just, and obviously the dark time of my career with all of these headlines, the lies and this and that, I know my faith in God, and I know my walk with him. So to me, it doesn't affect me like it does a lot of other people who see these headlines and then they all know my career. I don't look at that stuff. I know that, like I pray every day, thine will be done when I wake up and when I go to bed. And so I believe I'm doing as well. Even in the darkest moments, I'm still doing as well.
So did you guys get to meet any of the families of these guys who the movie was about at any point? Have you got to talk to them?
No, I didn't know.
No.
Do we know if they've even got to see the movie yet?
I have no idea. Tim would probably know.
Yeah, Tim would know it.
But
Our director would know. Yeah.
So what's the main takeaway you want after people get to see this? We've seen some of the reaction videos out there when the whole world gets to see this film. What's the main takeaway that you want them to walk out of that theater with?
It's like Kevin said earlier. I hope that they look at the dire situation that our characters are in with no hope, but yet they find hope in their belief and in their faith. And so that when people walk out of the theater, no matter what you're dealing with, a horrible medical diagnosis of the grieving of the loss of a loved one, you hopefully can take a little bit of inspiration to just hang on, because there's always tomorrow. There's always another day, and you never know what it entails.
You know, it's not a Marvel movie. You know, and we those are like roller coaster rides of visual effects, right? Hopefully it's a roller coaster ride of emotion, and people walk out of there and go, "Wow, that was unbelievably powerful."
That's good. Yeah. We know that you have Reagan finally on deck. We're finally gonna get that movie this year. It looks like.
Took a long time.
Yeah, I feel like we've been talking about that one for several years.
I was like, didn't that come out?
Oh, I saw mine 2 years ago. I saw mine. Yeah.
We interviewed Dennis Quaid probably 18 months ago. We talked about
Really?
that. So, yeah, we're finally going to get that this year.
It's out.
Yeah. And what's next for you? We got more of these family-friendly films in the works?
I have one. I was telling my thing called Athena Saves Christmas. I'm telling you, I'm a man of a certain age now, and everybody, these young people come up to me and they go, "Man, my favorite movie of yours is Snow Dogs." And I appreciate that. So now I have another movie that I do with a dog called Athena, and Athena Saves Christmas is about that. And then I have this other film called Angels Fallen, Warriors of Peace, which is a big special effects movie, and I play the angel, Gabriel. And it's a story about this unit in Iraq who come under fire, and then you see the spiritual warfare that they go through as they're actually going to physical warfare. So these new director, producer team of twin brothers, Ollie and Zeus, I'm blanking on their name right now, but they came to me with this script and this story, and kind of it's a new role, the trajectory of these faith-based movies, and so we'll see. We'll continue. We'll cut into this.
I got a Christmas movie coming out as well in November called A Christmas Heart. Don't know if that's gonna be the working title right now. It's just the title that's there. Wonderful. Another one based on a true story. And then I've got a documentary coming out. I spent 3 weeks in Israel. Through archaeological digs, we traced the flow of the Ark of the Covenant, and that was called The Quest for the Throne of God. So those are both coming up before Christmas.
Love it. We'll be on the lookout for those, and while you wait for those, go see The Firing Squad. It'll be out in theaters here in a couple weeks. Maybe already out there by the time you see this. August 2nd is the release date. Good hanging with you guys.
FiringSquadFilm.com. I want to get them there. FiringSquadFilm.com for information.